And that's why a lot of these goody two-shoe type mindless people will giggle and smirk at you when you talk about serious issues, because they think they can just choose to go along with it, and somehow that gives them power over it. And it's the same pattern in every case in history. These people are going to beg for help. They beg for help all the time when the system crushes them. And then their neighbors giggle and smirk at them. And then those people then get in trouble and they beg for help. And people just say, I'm not going to help you. If good people don't get together and recognize basic principles of liberty and defend them, we don't have a civilization. Now, when we come back, I want to get into allergies sweeping the country and what that signifies and why that's happening. And I'm going to file some special reports in the near future on the InfoWars Nightly News that premieres this Thursday, 7 o'clock. We're not getting into it this week on the Thursday and Friday show, but we're going to be putting together focused, documented. That's what's going to be different about this new transmission. I mean, we show you a lot of the documentation here, or I'll show you a news article and mention some other documentation. This is going to be absolute overload of documentation, hammering it in everybody's face so there's no denial. We're going to get to that first, and then the feds have announced gold and silver coins are counterfeit money and are terrorist. Those are quotes. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here. Back Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. Don't forget, premiering this Thursday, and then every weeknight they're out at 7 o'clock, the InfoWars Nightly News. There'll be expanded special reports as well, premieres of documentaries, all for PrisonPlanet.tv members, and your PrisonPlanet.tv membership also supports this transmission. Okay, food allergies. Different statistics show different numbers, but on average, you can pull these numbers up. Food allergies are up more than 10,000% what they were 50 years ago. 10,000%. Diabetes, as you know, has doubled the last 10 years. Most forms of cancer doubled the last 10 years. If you'd like to look this up, just type allergies up 10,000%. Type diabetes doubles last 10 years. I heard them covering this morning on local radio. I just searched allergies, Austin schools, and got the fact that it's a pandemic all over the country. So remember, when you hear this radio show, everything I say, unless I rarely say it's speculation or something I witnessed personally, you can just search my words and find it. Okay, this is teleprompter-free radio, teleprompter-free television. My new television shows, teleprompter-free. When I've got a graphic on screen, I might be reading from it, or when I have a guest on screen, obviously I'm looking at them and talking to them. This is teleprompter-free. There's no one else that's teleprompter-free in television. Most people are reading off scripts on talk radio. That's why they don't like document camps. You see everything we do here. This is teleprompter-free. I do have a screen of what I search in front of me, KXAN, in-depth investigation, food allergies at school. And watching this newscast, another local newscast, they're talking about not only having giant, I remember 20 years ago, special ed was a tiny area of the school, one room. Now some schools, upwards of 1/3 is special education. And the general students are what the special education was in many cases 20 years ago. Now they're talking about making entire areas of school basically bubble boy allergy areas. All over the country, children are dying from peanuts, strawberry, almost everything, wheat allergies. Now, what do the scientists actually say on this? What has been proven to be causing this? The reason you're seeing Crohn's disease that didn't exist now become an epidemic, and other diseases of the gut, other chronic bowel problems that are ubiquitous now, ubiquitous and killing people. It's been directly linked in the government's own reports that we covered yesterday with Mike Adams to the vaccines, where it causes autoimmune responses in the gut. But also that you're eating GMO foods that have pesticides that are grown in the crops, the corn and many other BT crops that are fillers in most products, where bugs eat it and die. Bugs eat it and die. It's 1,000 times the normal pesticide that grows in the corn or on the corn. It's a type of microorganism that is on the outside of the corn that naturally keeps pest away. So they increase it 1,000 times. You eat that. And in all the studies we've covered with the rats, with the guinea pigs, it's the same thing with these different crops. Within 2 to 3 generations, total sterility. But they can show that in a year with rats. With humans, every generation is about 20 years on average. So it's just coming in. Fertility is plunging. Sperm counts plunging. Cancer exploding. And children, my children are homeschooled, but a couple days a week they go to a school where homeschoolers go. There, even though most of the parents are awake and trying to feed organic, there's a lot of kids with allergies. But in the public schools where the parents don't know what's happening, it is a Armageddon. It is a holocaust of these children. Pediatric cancer, off the charts now. Off the charts. Once unknown, off the charts. 25, 30-year-olds, people I know personally, dying all around me. Massive death and scientific murder. And what does the news say? We'll come back and play it. Oh, well, you know, it's up to the parents to pack a lunch that's exactly right for them. But what if a piece of peanut blows over into their food and they have anaphylactic shock and die? Don't worry, we'll just create new wings. And they're now announcing, the feds are saying, they're going to create new bubble boy schools. And don't worry, the government and Big Pharma who created all this, they're going to have treatments for you. This is the genetic mass murder. If you are a new listener and you're saying, who is this Alex Jones guy? I beg of you on my knees, from the bottom of my soul, from the core of my heart, from my very essence and being, I humbly beg of you to check into the claims we make on this transmission, to face the horror and save your family. Humans tend to muddle through things. Humans tend to put up with whatever happens to them. And the globalists know that. I've told you the story of flying up to New York, I don't know, 6 months ago to be on The View and other TV programs. And I was in first class because I made ABC pay for it. I was in first class and I was sitting next to one of the big bankers. And by the time he figured out who I was, because people were shaking my hand and talking to me, he just looked over at me and he said, people will muddle through anything. You're not going to stop anything. People will put up with anything, as long as it's done incrementally. And so many of those guys give up on humanity. So they say, humanity's a bunch of idiots. I'll just join with evil. That's the attitude. I'm a winner, so I'm going to join with the dark side because the public, even if you try to tell them the truth, they don't want to hear it. That's the line I've been told by every big corporate chief I've run into, is that Alex, the general public doesn't want to be helped, and so you might as well be a predator. Well, let's just say that's true, which it isn't. What you think is going to happen, what you fulfill, what you push, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you just give up on everything, there will be a sinking to the bottom. When you reach for the stars, when you reach for the beauty, when you reach for the honor, when you reach for the good, you begin to attain it, and you set the mark and the standard. There's always going to be corruption and problems, but you recognize it and deal with it and try to keep it under control. But when you get that attitude and give up and just say, that's the way it is, the evil doesn't just stop at the level that you personally have accepted. And a lot of you guys try to get into evil. You try to make yourself like it. I didn't like mushrooms decades ago. I made myself eat them many times. Now I love them. That's really what the New World Order is all about. It's about taking tens of millions of men over the decades and finding out who likes to kill, who likes to torture, who likes to deal narcotics. Then you deploy them to key areas. Everything is about training people. Vietnam was a laboratory for war. Korea was a laboratory. The Pentagon admits that Afghanistan and Iraq are laboratories for war making. We live in a laboratory. We live under a scientific dictatorship of cold-blooded technocrats who enjoy testing on us just like they enjoyed testing on rats when they were in college. My dad described, taking biology and then working at MD Anderson in college. He worked there even in high school. He talked about some of the scientists in there would get off on injecting the rats with cancer, injecting them with chemicals and watching them die. He said quite a few of them. He said others were there really trying to help people, but there was a good percentage that would sit there and get this crazy look on their faces. They were injecting cancer into a rat. That's the people that run things. And if you don't understand the phenomenon of mad scientists, you don't understand anything. Now, they have backdoored stacking traits. They tell you corn, GMO potatoes, GMO maize, wheat, sugar beets, soybeans. They tell you they have one trait, or even 5, 6, 7, 8 traits they're advertising. But in every case where they've been reverse engineered, there's been other traits added to release chemical compounds in pharmacological crops. You hear about pharmacological crops, thousands of them, where they're growing antibiotics in a corn. Corn's one of the best at doing this, where they crush it down and remove and extract. They don't have to create it synthetically in a big laboratory using generally petrochemicals. They can now do it and are in crops all over the planet, some indoors, some outdoors, where they can extract thousands of different chemicals, biologicals from it. But all of these GMO crops are pharmacological, and they have been manipulated, and it's the perfect way to poison the population. The gut diseases are exploding. It is pandemic. Cancer is epidemic. New forms of cancer are racing through the population. Most of us are dead already, have had massive portions of our lives shaved off. And that's why in the final equation, I don't care if they imprison me, torture me to death, destroy my name, kill me. Because it's so evil what we're facing, there is no future if it is not met. Do you understand that? The people that would set me up and kill me are under attack as well. I feel sorry for them. They are weak. They were programmed from birth for their role in this evil system. They have had their souls stolen. Perhaps they've still got some toehold in the world of good and can be brought back, and that's who I'm here to reach out to the souls of Tarsus out there who are listening. All I can do is move you to open your heart to the truth, and God will knock you off that horse in a blinding bolt, and you will arise a new creature who has sight, whose soul can see the universe. God does not look for leaders generally who are just little goody two-shoes and who've never experienced anything in their life. God is looking for people who have served the dark side to serve him. God is looking for people that know evil from the inside. God wants to change you from the inside out. And only through that spiritual experience will you truly be given the discernment. Does that mean you're going to be a perfect new creature? Once you've been changed, once you've decided to open the door, you're not going to find this in your mainline churches. I'm talking about a relationship with the creator of the universe. But do you want to take the red pill? Because all I'm offering is the truth, nothing else.